Greetings once again, my sports to the bone people. And here we go again. Couple of cricketing stories to take a look at. So, former West Indies captain Jason Holder recently in an interview with Sportskeeda, he spoke about the state of the pitches and the facilities in the Caribbean. As you guys know, we are slated to host the T20 World Cup next year. And quite a few things have been said as it relates to how the pitches are and how the facilities are. So we're going to take a look at what former captain Jason Holder had to say. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the World Cup. The final 4 teams are now decided and the games are set to be played. Talking about the ODI World Cup, right? So just give a listening ear and let me know what you all think in the comment section. So they are taking this Jason Holder story here from the Sportsmax website. We all know the issues that we face in the Caribbean when it comes on to providing or producing good quality pitches. When it comes on to keeping the facilities up to date, make sure that the areas that people have to do inside work, they are well kept. We know the issues with all of that. So Jason Holder is actually over there in India at the Rajasthan Royals High Performance Center doing some work. And while having a conversation with Sportskeeda, he actually drew some sort of comparison as it relates to how the facilities and the pitches are in the Caribbean and how things are over there in India. So we're gonna go down into it and hear what the former captain had to say. So this is Jason Holder, and I quote, "It's brilliant. Unfortunately, in the Caribbean, we don't have facilities that are equivalent to this. We just have normal grounds. There's no training ground." So he's saying that they have normal ground and there's no training ground. So the grounds that you would play the actual matches on, those are the same grounds that you would do your training on. It goes without saying, India, they have way more money than we do in the Caribbean. So, we wouldn't be able to keep up with all of what they have there. But what Jason Holder is speaking about is something that has been a concern for years upon years. One would say that, listen, back in the 70s, back in the 80s when we dominated cricket, we didn't have the best facilities or whatever. But we have to realize that technology and everything has been, is now being implemented or is now being utilized by the different teams. So certain things that we could match up with them just with raw talent, we can't really do that anymore because some of these teams, they have the talent, but they also have certain technology that is helping them to break down. I don't know if I should even say they are able to break down what we are producing, because we're not producing the bowlers that like we did back in the 80s, right? So we're not producing those bowlers, we're not producing those batsmen. So you can imagine that when we're not able to compete, talent-wise, it is even more difficult when we don't have the facilities to train and to match up with what they are producing overseas. So, Holder just showing us some of that. Holder was speaking about the importance of having different type of pitches, that would help batsmen and bowlers to develop certain aspects of their game. You want to be able to train on a pitch that will produce pace. You want to be able to train on a pitch that will give you bounce and turn, a pitch that will keep low. A variety, different stuff. So when you come up on these sort of things, when you're on tour or even in your own backyard, it's not foreign to you because you have been practicing on these type of surfaces. So this is Holder once again. "I just found it necessary to get away from the Caribbean, do something away from the Caribbean and do a lot more specific into what I need and go a lot more specific into what I need to work on," right? So Holder seems to have pinpointed a couple of things that he needs to work on and decided that the facility and also probably the human intelligence is not as high in the Caribbean as he would like it to be to get his work done. He said that, and I quote, "It is really good family that the Royals have here, and they portray that family image, right? So he just took the opportunity to go down there and to do some work while the West Indies are, you know, because the West Indies are not in the World Cup. So he had a lot of time on his hand. So those who were wondering why is he not in the Super 50, now we get an idea of what Jason Holder has been up to. So it can be beneficial for us. You know, obviously they are going to want him. Obviously he's a big part of their plan in the IPL there. But whatever work is being done there is definitely going to benefit us. We would have also seen in the IPL where a couple of our players from the Caribbean would have been drafted and they don't necessarily get a lot of game time. But we would have heard the likes of Odin Smith speaking that even when he's not playing, the work that is being done at the training ground, the work that is being that he's able to get through with the coaches is really you know, helping him to develop as a player. So when they come back to the Caribbean, you would expect them to be more, you know, you would expect them to have to be able to produce more than what they were producing before. You understand? So just in case you were wondering what's up with Jason Holder, why you haven't seen him in the Super 50, man is over there in India working on some stuff. So shout out to Jason Holder. I guess the earliest time we will be able to assess and see what you know, the improvement is going to be in December next month. We take on England, and as you can imagine, England, they didn't have a fruitful ODI World Cup, so you know, they are going to be looking to rebound from that against us. I was reading an article a couple of days ago and they were talking about some potential players that England would take to the Caribbean, you know, saying they are looking at a new generation. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. As I said in the video, I think it was yesterday, we would have seen some players from the Super 50 that CWI personnel will probably give them an opportunity in the England series. So it's going to be interesting to see how we match up against what could possibly be a new face England team. So we're going to continue to monitor that one, my people. Talking about the ODI World Cup, the semi-finals are now set. The teams that will be facing each other are now known. So semi-final 1, we will see India taking on New Zealand on the 15th of November. That's round about Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, the 15th of November, semi-final 1. And, you know, you're going to have on the 16th of November, semi-final 2, which would see South Africa taking on Australia. So, you know, these teams, they have been pretty good throughout the tournament. So it's going to be interesting to see how they match up. India in their backyard will be looking to go straight to the final. You understand? New Zealand, South Africa and Australia, they have all produced some quality cricket over the last couple of weeks. So we're going to continue to monitor this to see how things will work out. Going to leave this one right here for now. Big up on yourself.